All right, today we're going to learn how to set up a SQL Server on your Mac operating system. Now, there's going to be a few things we're going to need. Now, first, we're going to download Docker. This is what we're going to use to set up our SQL Server database engine. We're going to need to download Azure Data Studio. This is the user interface that you're going to essentially interact with the database engine. So this is where you're going to type your queries and stuff. And we're going to use AdventureWorks as a backup database. This is the environment we're going to use to practice our assignments and our queries. Now, what I have here on the side, it looks kind of crazy, but I'll describe it detail piece by piece on what this is. This is basically lines of code that you're going to need to run on your Mac terminal. All you need to do is get on your launchpad, just type terminal, you click here, and then you're going to have a terminal that comes up. I have one right here, so I'm just going to open up a new window, and it's going to look something like this. This is what your terminal is going to look like. So these are the lines of code. We're just going to copy and paste it here. And we're going to run these lines of code to do what we need to do. So first thing you're going to need to understand is what Docker you're going to need to download. So you go into docker.com, you hover over download, and there's these two types of downloads that you'll see. Download for Mac with an Intel chip, or download for Mac with an Apple chip. Now, to understand which one your computer is compatible with, you'll just go to this Apple icon in the top left, click About This Mac, and you'll see it where you see processor. See, this one is with the Intel chip, so I know that I will need the Intel chip. Now, I already have this downloaded, so I'm not going to click, but you will need to click. And then you'll move it to your accessories folder. Now, you're going to need to download Azure Data Studio. This is another application that you're going to need, and you'll do the same process. You'll just type on Google, and we can just do this right now. Azure Data Studio. You'll go to right here, actually, where it says Microsoft Learn. You'll click Download and Install Azure Data Studio, and you're going to be up here. You just have to scroll down where you see Install Azure Data Studio, and then just click macOS, and then download it from here. And then finally, you're going to click on this OLTP AdventureWorks 2022.back. All you gotta do is click, and it sends you to the download. I just downloaded this recently, so you'll see it right here into this folder. Everything I downloaded is in the downloads folder. May be different for you, but this is where I have my AdventureWorks, and this is important to know where this is located. All right, so we're going to start with Docker. So we're going to get out. Basically, you're going to see this. No images, no containers. That's what these lines of code come into play. Now, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to install SQL Server Docker image. So we're going to open up our terminal. I think I have a new one right here. We're going to open up the terminal, and the first thing it says is Docker pull. And then there's a Microsoft link. So copy, paste, it's good from there. We just let it download. So now this is done, we're gonna go to our second line of code. And this is to create the container. We're also going to need to set our password. So if you see this, it starts with a docker run, and then you'll see a -e. you'll see dash letters all around, and basically what these are called flags. And what that means is, think of it like a room with multiple light switches. If you have switch number 1 open up a certain light and switch number 2 open up another light, these different switches do different things to show what a room looks like or how the room would operate. So these switches basically, or these flags, are basically work like switches. So dash P is kind of like, it means port, right? It's going to choose this type of port number. Dash name is going to name the container. Dash D, dash E is a setting, and I forget what dash D stands for, but basically these ports, you're essentially doing your own setting. And that's why I want you to look at this specific one right here. We're going to set our own password. All right, now that we changed our password, and this is going to be our password, my password 1, we'll just copy this. Paste it here. And we know that it's done once we get this. Next thing we're going to need is this piece right here, and it's kind of a 4-part. Docker, we're just calling Docker. CP means copy, and this will be the original file path. We're going to copy what's in the original file path, and we're going to paste it into this destination. Now what this is we're going to copy that back file, and we're going to paste it onto our container. So right now, this is what we did. We've ran this code and got the image, then ran this, and then we got our container. So next thing we're going to need to do is we're going to need to open up the terminal. And what I'll do is I'll copy this, I paste, and then I'll move this cursor back all the way down here, and I'll delete where it says original file path. And what I'll do is I will go to downloads, I copy, and this is the back file. So I copy the back file, go back here where my cursor is, and hit paste. So I'm pasting the file path. So what I have is Docker copy the file path of what I want copied, which is the back file, and I'm pasting it into our container. So I'll hit enter, wait a couple seconds. I should get a message that says successfully copied, and we're good from here. So just a quick recap, we created our Docker image, we created the container and set our password, and then we've downloaded, copied the back file, and put it into our container. So next thing we need to do is we need to open Azure Data Studio. And we're going to click this new connection. And we're going to fill all this information out. So we are going to fill out server, which is going to be localhost, authentication type, SQL login, username, we're going to put SA, and that stands for system admin. Password, I'm going to put in the password that I created, my password 1. So my 1. Database, leave as default, and everything we're just going to leave it as is. So let's click connect. And let's see, it says a connection was successfully established with the server, but then an error occurred. Needs enable to trust server. So I guess we should have put true over here. So I'm going to enable it here. And we are good to go. We are connected. So because we did this, right, we copied the back file. It's already in the container. Next thing we need to do is we are going to right click right here. We're going to click new query. And then what we're going to do is we're going to grab all of this right here, copy, and paste. So what this is we're going to restore the database. I'm going to name it AdventureWorks 2022. It's going to be from the disk, and this is going to be from this location, and then with move. So it's going to run all of this right here. So we click run. I'm going to let it do its thing. Processing. Okay, total time executed is done. We're going to refresh right here. And then just for safety measures, refresh right here. Once we open this databases, this is our database right here. You see our tables, we have everything right here. So again, you guys, I'm going to give you guys these lines of code to copy and paste into the terminal. Just understand, you're going to need to create your own password. And in creating your own password, it has to be 8 characters or more. You want to make sure that everything is green and it continues to run. So anytime you're finished querying or using the database, you definitely want to click the stop button. And you want to stop your container from running and using up your CPU, causing your computer to run slow. So definitely click stop anytime you're done using the database. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Let me know if you have any issues or any problems.